So my dad started banging on the door. Him and my mom were having an argument, and he threatened to kill himself. And he went downstairs. He took a gun. We all heard. It's 3 of us in my room right now, and we're scared.
You heard him get the gun?
Yeah, and he was extremely drunk. He was, oh my God!
What just happened, ma'am? Did he just shoot someone, ma'am?
He shot the fort. He shot outside.
Hey, I got a gun right here.
Rifle here. Yep, on you. Hey, drop the gun.
No! Fuck you!
Just drop it, man.
My goddamn house!
What's going on, man? Talk to me.
My goddamn house!
Talk with me. Talk with
I'm
me.
not ready to do it!
Talk with me, man.
I'm not ready to do it!
Daniel.
Stand the f*** down! Turn your
Hey, drop the man. Do me a favor. Drop it for me, man.
No!
Drop it for me, man.
No!
Please.
Don't do it!
Daniel, my name's Jacob. Daniel.
See this? Look!
Daniel, my name's Jacob, man.
Oh!
My name's Jacob.
Oh!
What?
Turn your goddamn lights
What's
off.
going on? What's going on, Daniel? What's going on? Tell me, man. What's going on? Talk with me, man.
Come on, Daniel, please.
I don't want you to do this, man.
Hey, boys, let's back up. Let's slowly back up. It's just
Turn
him.
your lights off, number
Just him.
one. Turn them off. Turn it off. Turn it off.
I'm gonna go across. I'm gonna go across. I'm gonna go across.
Is that one light?
Back to the front door, I'm right here.
Daniel. Come on, Daniel. Put it down.
You're doing good, boys. You're doing good. Listen. I can't get around.
My daughter.
Okay, it's okay. Go that way.
My daughter.
Go that way. $629, be advised, I am in the house. Drop the gun! Show me EMS code 3, shots fired. Yeah. Huh? Yes.
I got you.
Hello, I shot out of his hand.
I'm telling him it's okay to approach.
This is what
Stop. Find it. Find it.
I shot it out of his hand. He went flying.
Right here. Oh, it's nothing good, nothing good.
Got it.
No, it's not it.
My hand.
It's probably underneath it. I gotta turn it here. Hey, cut it off. Hey, give me shears. Give me shears.
Hold on, moving.
Where's he hit?
In his wrist. In his
Hit
wrist.
the wrist.
Okay.
Guns right here. Guns right here.
All right, keep it. Step on it.
If you're not subscribed yet, it would be cool if you were, and if you really wanted to help the channel out, you could do that by leaving a couple comments down below. I think most of you know this, but I just want to say this right now. I use body cameras to talk about general practices sometimes because I don't often know what the officers were thinking, exactly what they were trying to do, and I don't always have all of the information, so just keep that in mind. The first thing that the officers do really well is they park away from the actual objective or the residence itself, and they walk up on foot. Anytime you can remain covert for as long as possible, as long as you are covert, meaning the person doesn't know you're there, well then you have the tactical advantage. I assume that they see a vehicle running in the driveway, and so they're pushing up to the vehicle to verify whether there is anybody in there or not. So if that is true, I understand why they're approaching a vehicle. Obviously, you all should know that if we think a suspect is in a vehicle, and this isn't a hostage rescue, there's no reason that we should be approaching that vehicle. When the suspect jumps out of the car with the handgun, they do the right thing, which is back up, and they communicate that to one another. I would have liked to see them use that house to their left as cover. Standing out in the open is never really a great idea. And also, I would have liked to see them spread out at that point and create angles, especially for the officer with the rifle who's a sergeant. If you see where his muzzle is pointing in relationship to the officers in front of him, that is just not enough space for you to ensure that you're not going to shoot one of those officers when the suspect starts shooting and one of those officers runs in front of your muzzle. I'm not going to give you an approximate distance that you need to be away. And that also means that you need to be deliberate about your marksmanship. Maybe dumping on a bad guy as many rounds as you can in the shortest period of time with officers who are in front of you isn't a great idea. So if you're shooting 1 or 2 rounds and you're trying to actually hit the guy, there's a good chance that even if the officers do dart in front of you, given the distance they are from your muzzle, you will be able to shut that off and not shoot a fellow officer. Another reason why you want to stay spread out and create angles is that the suspect will have to transition from one officer to the next officer in order to hit multiple officers. And with multiple officers already having their guns pointed at him, it's unlikely that he'll be able to achieve that. Think of this in the case of the suspect having a Glock switch. Multiple officers in one place with the suspect having a Glock switch means there's a higher likelihood that he will be able to hit multiple officers at once. Also understand that when dealing with suspects with firearms, there may be certain windows of opportunity for you to engage the suspect. And once that window of opportunity is gone, now it may not make more sense from a legal perspective. So if you have a suspect inside of a car with a handgun, although maybe we don't know he has a handgun yet, that suspect exiting that vehicle with a handgun, I'm pretty sure you could articulate serious bodily injury or death in that moment. Now, at the moment in which the suspect is now pointing the gun at his own head, now you have a suicidal person who in that moment is only a danger to himself, which means if you engage that person, that could make things a little bit more complicated. That supervisor, that sergeant with that rifle identifies, hey, there's people still inside the house. Let me go inside the house and get myself in between the suspect and those innocent people in the house. Now, what the officer does do, or the sergeant does do that I like, is that he actually moves down to where he believes the door to be. I think that's a good idea as long as you feel like you have the opportunity, because you kind of want to see what you're working with, see what the suspect might have to navigate, and just identify where the door is itself. The officer or the sergeant did say, I'm inside the house, but I would ask you guys to be more specific. Tell the other officers actually what you want or what you don't want, because some officers might understand what that means and other officers may not. For example, instead of just saying, I'm inside the house, you would say, I'm inside the house, do not follow him inside. Everybody would pretty much get the idea, hey, don't run inside after this guy because I'm looking at the door with my rifle and I'm waiting for him to come through. That would be better, be more specific. Everybody understands exactly what that means. Now, again, the suspect moving towards the door of the residence, again, could also be seen as an act of serious bodily injury or death. It's reasonable to assume that a suspect with a handgun who has already fired it and more or less threatened the people inside the house, now going back inside the house, is a danger to those people in the house. So also keep that in mind. I don't know what those other officers outside were seeing. I'm not saying that they could have done something, but I just want you guys to be aware of that. One thing that the sergeant does inside the house is he prematurely activates his white light. Is it the end of the world? Not really. But if you can wait until you actually see the suspect, and I would actually, in this situation, wait as long as he did, or wait for the suspect to actually clear and get up on the landing before you let him know that you're there, because a suspect who is more dedicated and kind of knows what he's doing may see that you're throwing white light that direction, and just kind of like a laser, that's an indicator of, okay, maybe I don't want to cross this threshold here, or maybe I'm going to stay where I'm at right here, and now I'm going to start fighting this cop from right here, in which case maybe now he has the tactical advantage, or maybe it's an even fight because both of you are using some sort of a threshold, but you're having to shoot through that to get to him, so that's not exactly ideal. Now, just as a common practice, if you're an officer that's showing up 4th, 5th, 6th on the scene, and you already see 3 or 4 officers pointing their gun at this one person, you can be the person that coordinates what's going on, right? Because the officers who are locked in on the bad guy with the gun, their focus is right there. They shouldn't be on the radio. They shouldn't be thinking about other things necessarily, as long as they have the manpower to do this. But somebody else who doesn't need to be on the gun can kind of take charge of what's happening and orchestrate these things to make sure that everything is getting done. You could have a EMT or EMS en route and stage. You could bring up a medical bag. You can have somebody bring a shield forward. These are all things that you could need, and if you have them and they're there, obviously you're not scrambling to try to find those things at the last minute. Another thing that the sergeant could have done is request another officer inside with him. How that would have worked once he got inside, or if he saw an extra officer outside, just say, hey, come with me or give me one. And then once you get inside, ask for another officer. It's just always good to have an additional officer there. And potentially that other officer could be a less lethal option, so we don't have to end up shooting this guy. Now, this guy was shot in the hand for whatever reason. He looks like he's dead, but he's not. And then, of course, he was arrested. I'll let you guys kind of answer this or speculate this in the comments. The officer did eventually establish a position of domination, which is exactly what you want to do. I'm not quite sure why he kind of was walking towards the door and then walking back and then turning around and then kind of walking back and forth. I think maybe he was just a little bit hesitant on what he wanted to do, and I understand that that could happen. But if you guys have any thoughts on exactly what that was, make sure you're putting that down in the comments. If you're not subscribed, you can do that by tapping on this photo, and don't forget to feed the algorithm down below.